So we're going to start standing first, and I want you guys to get into a standing position. But before we get into this, I really want to talk about the natural alignment of the spine. Everybody has a spine, and that spine has unique curves that you're born with. We call those curves secondary curves and primary curves, also known as lordotic curves and kyphotic curves. So with your cervical spine, you're naturally born with a lordotic curve or a secondary curve. With your thoracic spine, you're born with a kyphotic curve or a primary curve, and the lumbar spine mimics the cervical spine. The lumbar spine is also a lordotic curve or a secondary curve. So how can we take the knowledge that we just learned about the spine and the way that it's curved naturally and learn how to sit in those curves in the proper way so the force can be distributed throughout those curves in the most effective way possible? And I say this because in most cases, we feel tension in the low part of our backs, especially down into this L5 area and the upper part of our traps slash mid back here. So because we have so much tension, it's because the force is not being distributed throughout the curves because we haven't learned how to sit in them properly. So let's get into this while we're standing here, guys. I want you to take that knowledge, putting your feet shoulder width apart, a little wider than shoulder width apart. I want you now to curl your toes slightly into that ground, like your feet and toes are gripping the ground like such. That's going to allow you to feel, again, more stable in your foundation. Your feet are the base of your entire structure. So once you can have a strong, stable foundation, it's going to translate up the entire spine. So with that being said, let's get a soft bend in our knees. We have a strong foundation, and we're just going to do a light bounce just to establish ourselves in that foundation. All right, after we established ourselves in this position, I'm going to turn this way so you can see how I'm rocking my pelvis back and forth. This is going to help almost tune my system and my spine so that it can start to align itself. So I want you to go hands on your hips here, and I want you to drop your pelvis into this anterior position, arching your butt up into the air like so. Then I want you to tuck your tail, that tailbone here. I want you to tuck your tail like you're trying to squeeze it in between your legs. That's going to take your pelvis and rock it back. Then I want you to do the same thing and just get comfortable with this motion of the pelvis going forward and that pelvis going backwards. The pelvis rocking forward and the pelvis rocking backwards. From there, close your eyes and just micro tune it. Just do a little bit, just subtly do that motion and let that motion come up the entire spine and feel how you can almost follow it up from the pelvis up into the thoracic spine, all the way up to your cervical spine. Again, keeping that soft bend in your knees. And you can just subtly move. This is where you get to explore, guys. I don't know your body like you know your body, and this is going to look different for everybody, but I want you to just mimic what I'm doing here and try to find your own sense of alignment. Try to sit in your curves as they are unique to you. And the only way you know how to do this is when you take the time to do it and explore it. And that's what we're doing right now. So take the time, find those unique curves. Once you feel like you found the best place of alignment for you specifically, we're going to just hold it there. And we're going to take a deep breath in, utilizing that breath lift technique, creating the wave into the belly, into the chest, and into the head. Good. So you should feel like you just got a couple inches taller just from that first breath. You could do as many as you want, but essentially this is how you're going to decompress your spine in a standing position. Notice how I'm being very intentional with my breath. I'm following it in through my nose, base of the lungs, and letting it lift me all the way up into my chest, past my shoulders, into the top of my head. And I'm allowing myself to maintain that height that I created even when I exhale. So I want to point that out real quick before we get into the seated position. We're going to maintain the height as we exhale. So we're going to inhale. And when we let it go, we maintain that height. And that's a beautiful way to reset yourself and create alignment from the inside out in a standing position.